Spring awakens a natural desire to refresh our living spaces, bringing the season's renewed energy and blooming beauty indoors. This year, we're witnessing a delightful resurgence of romantic florals and timeless elegance that beautifully blends the iconic Laura Ashley aesthetic with McGee Co.'s refined approach to casual sophistication. The marriage of these two influential styles creates a perfect harmony of nostalgic charm and contemporary comfort that feels especially appropriate for spring's promise of renewal and fresh beginnings.
Welcome to Rustic Elegance. Let's embark on a journey through the beauty of rustic decor, celebrating the warmth, simplicity, and natural charm of this timeless design.
Floral Revival and Timeless Touches. How to decorate your spring home like Laura Ashley and McGee Co. What makes this decorative approach so appealing is its accessible versatility. It can transform any space from stark to inviting through thoughtful layering of patterns, textures, and carefully selected accessories. The soft color palettes and natural-inspired elements create rooms that feel both elegant and lived in, striking that elusive balance between aspirational beauty and everyday comfort. Best of all, this aesthetic can be achieved at any budget level, from investment pieces that will become family heirlooms to creative DIY projects that deliver similar visual impact at a fraction of the cost. In this guide, we'll explore 5 essential elements of this romantic yet refined decorating style, offering practical advice for incorporating these timeless touches into your home this spring. Whether you're planning a complete interior refresh or simply looking to add a few seasonal updates, these approaches will help you create spaces that feel both current and timelessly elegant, capturing the essence of spring's renewal through design choices that delight the senses and nourish the spirit. 1. Romantic Spring Textiles. Gingham floral patterns in soft layers. Layer with love. Soft spring fabrics for a cozy Laura Ashley-inspired look. Begin your textile refresh with quality foundation pieces like cotton slipcovers or linen drapery in soft neutral tones that provide a versatile backdrop for seasonal accents. Layer in medium-scale floral prints through cushions, throws, and accent pieces, focusing on botanical motifs with natural colorways that feel fresh rather than overly sweet. Complete the look with textural elements like fine-gauge knit throws, embroidered details, or scalloped edges that add dimension and tactile interest, while maintaining the airy lightness essential to spring decor. Gingham and Floral Revival, 2025's must-have prints for spring interiors. This season's most influential textile trend pairs classic gingham checks in varying scales with romantic floral patterns for a refreshed take on traditional English cottage style. The key to modern interpretation lies in thoughtful color coordination. Choose ginghams and florals that share a cohesive palette featuring at least one common hue. Create visual interest by varying pattern scale, pairing smaller checks with medium to large floral motifs or vice versa to maintain balance and prevent the eye from feeling overwhelmed. Budget styling with fabric accents. Curtains, cushions, and table runners that add instant charm. Transform plain curtain panels with simple DIY trim additions like pom-pom edging, grosgrain ribbon borders, or iron-on floral appliques that echo Laura Ashley's signature embellishment style. Refresh existing sofa cushions by creating slipcovers from inexpensive tea towels in complementary gingham or floral prints, cinched with covered buttons or ribbon ties for added charm. Craft no-sew table runners from remnant fabric pieces finished with iron-on hemming tape, creating seasonal table settings that bring spring's romantic aesthetic to everyday dining experiences. 2. Signature vintage furniture. Classic shapes, whitewash finishes, and McGee Co inspired pieces. Vintage silhouettes. Timeless furniture that brings spring elegance to life. Focus on furniture pieces with graceful proportions and subtle curves. Think camelback sofas, Bergera chairs, and spindle-legged side tables that bring architectural interest without overwhelming your space. Seek out classic silhouettes that balance feminine details with clean lines, creating that signature McGee Co mix of traditional form with fresh functionality. Remember that true statement pieces often feature thoughtful details like turned legs, subtle carved elements, or elegant piping that elevates simple shapes to noteworthy design elements. Whitewashed and worn, McGee Co inspired pieces with soft rustic appeal. Embrace the subtle sophistication of whitewashed wood finishes that soften traditional furniture forms while maintaining visual interest through visible grain patterns and gentle texture. Pair these lighter elements with select pieces in natural or medium-toned woods for depth and contrast that prevents the space from feeling too precious or monotonous. Incorporate subtle distressing and gentle wear that suggests authentic age rather than manufactured shabby chic, focusing on pieces that feature natural patina rather than aggressive artificial aging techniques. Where to find affordable lookalikes? Elegant vintage furniture on a budget. Explore second-hand marketplaces and estate sales for well-constructed older pieces with good bones that can be transformed with quality paint in soft cream or white finishes and updated hardware. Consider slipcover options for structurally sound but visually dated seating, using washable cotton or linen blend fabrics in neutral tones that echo McGee Co's inviting yet refined aesthetic. Invest selectively in one or two new anchor pieces that capture the essence of this style while complementing them with thoughtfully updated vintage finds for a collected, curated look that appears to have evolved naturally over time. 3. Garden-inspired wall decor, botanical prints, mirrors, and antique frames. Bring the garden in wall art ideas inspired by spring florals and nature. Create impactful gallery walls using botanical illustrations in varying scales, mixing precise scientific renderings with more artistic interpretations of similar flora for visual interest. Frame press flowers or ferns from your own garden between glass panels for personalized botanical art that connects your interior directly to the surrounding landscape. Consider vintage garden planning books, seed catalogs, or horticultural guides as unexpected sources for affordable botanical imagery that can be carefully removed and professionally framed. Botanical prints and antique frames, Laura Ashley's signature wall touches. Seek out ornate picture frames in varying sizes at thrift stores and flea markets, unifying disparate styles through consistent gold, silver, or whitewashed finishes. Create depth and dimension by layering smaller framed pieces atop larger mirrors or within empty vintage frames for a collected, evolved look that suggests history and personal meaning. Mix genuine antique frames with quality reproductions to maximize budget while maintaining the authentic character and craftsmanship that defines Laura Ashley's traditional elegance. Mirror magic. Create light and space with McGee Co.'s vintage-inspired reflections. Position mirrors strategically opposite windows to amplify natural light and create the impression of additional space and depth within your rooms. Select mirror frames with architectural interest, carved details, gentle distressing, or interesting shapely profiles that transform functional surfaces into decorative focal points. Consider unconventional mirror applications like antiqued mirror panels behind shelving, mirror-back china cabinets, or clustered small mirrors in interesting frames as alternatives to expected large statement pieces. 4. Earthy and elegant accessories, ceramics, candlesticks, and subtle gold accents. Spring accessory styling. How to add vintage elegance with simple touches. Arrange accessories in thoughtful groupings of odd numbers, varying heights and shapes while maintaining a cohesive color story that complements your overall palette. Incorporate negative space around your vignettes, allowing each grouping room to breathe rather than cluttering surfaces with too many disparate elements. Focus on quality over quantity, selecting fewer, more meaningful pieces with interesting details, authentic materials, and refined craftsmanship rather than numerous inexpensive accessories that can create visual noise. Cottagecore meets chic, decorative ceramics, soft metals, and earthy elements. Select ceramic pieces with interesting glazes that showcase handcrafted character, subtle variations in color, gentle crackling, or visible texture that adds depth and authenticity. Introduce metallic elements through warm brass or gold tones with soft, brushed finishes rather than high-gloss versions that can feel too contemporary or formal. Incorporate natural materials like woven baskets, wooden bowls, or stone containers that ground more refined elements with earthy, organic texture essential to both Laura Ashley's romantic style and McGee Co's casual sophistication. Budget finds with big impact. Laura Ashley-inspired details from local markets and online. Transform ordinary glassware into distinctive decorative elements by filling with seasonal blooms, budding branches, or preserved botanical elements that bring natural color and texture to tabletops and shelving. Scout antique markets and thrift stores for quality brass candlesticks, vintage picture frames, and ceramic vessels that can be repurposed as planters or decorative containers. Consider DIY projects like hand-painted ceramic pieces, gold leaf decorative objects, or custom fabric-wrapped storage boxes that deliver high-end aesthetic impact with minimal financial investment. Soft pastel color palettes: sage, blush, cream, and dusty blue. Painted in spring: choosing the right pastel shades for a calm, elegant interior. Select pastel tones with subtle gray undertones that create sophisticated, muted versions of traditional spring colors: sage green with a hint of gray, blush pink with taupe undertones, or dusty blue with lavender influences. Apply these gentle hues thoughtfully, using them as wall colors in rooms with abundant natural light, or as accent colors in north-facing spaces that need warming elements. Remember that true decorator pastels function essentially as neutrals, creating versatile backgrounds that complement rather than compete with your furnishings and accessories. Spring Color Trends 2025: Blush, Cream, and Sage for a Timeless Home. Anchor your spring palette with substantial cream elements that prevent pastel components from feeling too sweet or juvenile in adult living spaces. Layer in sage green as your primary accent color, using it in varying intensities from barely there pale tones to more saturated mossy hues that add depth and grounding energy. Complete your color story with strategic touches of blush pink, dusty blue, or pale lilac that introduce cheerful seasonal notes while maintaining the elegant restraint essential to both Laura Ashley's traditional romance and McGee Co.'s refined simplicity. How to use pastels like a pro. Soft palette tips inspired by McGee Co. and Laura Ashley. Create subtle tonal variations within your chosen pastel family by incorporating different textures that catch light differently. Matte walls with glossier trim and slightly darker tints of the same hue, or textured fabrics alongside smoother versions in related tones. Balance pastel elements with natural wood tones, crisp whites, and strategic touches of black or deep navy that provide necessary contrast and prevent the palette from feeling too precious or one-dimensional. Remember that successful pastel schemes rely on thoughtful layering rather than singular statement colors, creating depth through nuanced variations that bring sophistication to these traditionally sweet hues. Conclusion. The beauty of this Laura Ashley and McGee Co-inspired approach to spring decorating lies in its graceful balance between romantic nostalgia and fresh relevance. By thoughtfully combining floral patterns, classic furniture forms, botanical accents, refined accessories, and soft color palettes, you create spaces that feel both timeless and current, rooms that honor traditional elegance while embracing the casual comfort essential to contemporary living. This decorative philosophy creates homes that tell personal stories through collected objects and carefully curated elements, rather than following fleeting trends. As you implement these ideas in your own space, remember that authentic style evolves gradually and organically. Allow yourself to collect pieces that genuinely resonate rather than rushing to complete a picture-perfect interior that might lack personal connection. The most compelling spaces reflect their inhabitants' unique personalities and experiences, while maintaining cohesive design principles that create visual harmony and emotional comfort. This patient, intentional approach ensures your home feels genuinely yours rather than merely mirroring prevailing design trends. Perhaps the most appealing aspect of this decorative approach is its inherent adaptability to different homes, lifestyles, and budgets. Whether you live in a historic cottage or contemporary apartment, whether you're furnishing your first home or refreshing a long-established space, these principles can be tailored to suit your particular circumstances while maintaining their essential character. By embracing the romantic floral revival and timeless touches inspired by these two influential design perspectives, you create spring interiors that delight the senses, elevate the everyday, and create a refreshing sanctuary perfectly attuned to the season's spirit of renewal and grace.